Hello and welcome back. My name is Brett. I'm a digital marketing consultant with Clickmill.co. If you are just finding us on YouTube, we are walking you through step by step to get your nonprofit organization qualified for the $10,000 a month Google Ad grant. In this video, we're going to be discussing 6 guidelines to write A+ ads. Now, in the last video, we have written ads, and in this video, I'm just going to be going over some tips on how to make these ads as wonderful as you can. Now, the first tip I would give you is to use up your space. And in this ad, you can see we've used 90 out of, in description 2, you can see we've used 90 out of 90 characters. Description 1, we're at 89 out of 90, which is pretty close. That's good enough. 27 of 30, that's close. 30 out of 30 up here, which is very good. And here, in headline 2, I'm not a big fan of 20 out of 30. My issue here is there's just not a whole lot I can follow this up with, but I could still put some more thought into it. So I would encourage you just to make sure your ad space is filled up as much as you can, and then to look, and this is what your ad's going to look like, as we again did in the last video. The reason that this is important is because if you can just get one character to bump over the edge on one of these ads, it's going to add an entire another line to your ad. And this doesn't sound like a lot, but what happens is that these ads are then going to bump down all of your competitors' ads, which means you're dominating that top spot on Google and you're increasing the rate. Again, you're optimizing the rate at which people are going to click on you and not someone else. And so filling out these ads is very important. I'm going to go ahead and click cancel here to go into our next point. When you're writing your ads, it's very important to mix things up. For instance, one thing that you don't want is you don't want different headlines, but all of the body is the same. We want to mix that up as much as we can, because as these ads run over the first 30 days of your advertising campaign, you're going to start generating data on how many people have clicked that, how many impressions how many people have seen this ad above the fold, and we've discussed that in a prior video as well, what the fold is. It is then going to calculate your click-through rate, and this click-through rate is going to tell you essentially how many people out of every 100 impressions are clicking on your ads. And to maintain a Google Ads account, you have to have this above 5%. And that can sometimes be a little challenging, especially if you're new with the Google Ads platform. And so the reason that we want to mix things up as much as we can is to see which ad works the best. And then after the first month, we can begin writing different ads that will outperform our best ads, and we can get rid of those lower performing ads. But what we don't want is we don't want to have 3 similar ads and they all happen to be low performing ads. We want to mix it up. Tip 3 for writing effective ads is to include a call to action. And we've discussed call to action above in the article. If you're following along on our Google Ad Grant, the Ultimate Guide article, and we've discussed call to actions. I do just want to even emphasize that more. Call to action, a call to action is one of the number one most important things to know in digital marketing. Is firstly, if you don't have a call to action, they won't know what you want them to do. Your target audience isn't going to understand. And so you have to have a call to action saying, do this and do it right now. It's super important. Don't wait. The other thing with calls to action is don't have more than one call to action. If you have 2 calls to action on any page, or 3 or 4 or 5, and I've seen, pages that it's just a mess, and there's a dozen calls to action and you have no idea what they want you to do. So in our ads, we want to have one clear call to action. So we're going to look on the first ad here. Best Christian church near you, new church in Katy, Texas. Click now for service times. Clear as crystal. We want them to click now so that they can see if the service time is going to work for them. In the next one, click now for more about us. And so again, this is click to learn more about the church. They're looking for a new church, so learn more about it. Click here. Okay, so these calls to, and again, I haven't finished this last ad yet, which I will go back and do, but we want one single call to action, and you can reflect that in the description if you would like, but keep it to one and make sure you have one call to action. The next suggestion I would encourage you to keep in mind as you're writing ads is, even here, I'm writing these ads, and at some point, I'm just going to come to the end. You kind of get in a rut as to your thinking, and I just can't think of any new ways to say the same thing. What digital marketers do is we'll go and we'll look at inspiration from other ads. And of course, we don't want to copy them directly, but we want to see what's effective and what's not to give us more ideas of how to write these ads more effectively than we've already done. And so I would encourage you, if you're operating a nonprofit and you're writing these ads, look up similar nonprofits, maybe in your area, maybe not in your area. Something that's really interesting is that a lot of times ads will be similar in certain areas. So if I were to look up a wedding venue, just type in Google wedding venues, New York City or NYC, all of those ads will have similar qualities, which is very interesting. But if you look up wedding venue, San Jose, California, they may have something different. And so, getting an idea of what people are doing in different places with their ads and what's working will be the ad at the top of Google, which is where you want to be. And so get some inspiration with your ads once you've written a few, exhaust your mind, and then go looking for new ideas. The fifth suggestion here to write A+ ads is very important, and it is just to not look spammy. And what does this mean? Don't use all capital letters. Don't use 3 exclamation points. And generally, the ad program here, Google Ads, is not going to even accept your ad if those are the case. Also, don't make too good to be true promises. These types of things, people see so many ads a day, thousands of ads a day, and they're just automatically on the lookout for this stuff. And as soon as they see it, they're going to ignore it. So make sure your ads are genuine, make sure they're honest, and make sure they don't look spammy. For our last and sixth tip to write A+ ads, I'm going to open this ad here, and we've seen this already, and it is to just use the ad previewer. It's very helpful to get your mind outside of these text fields and onto what an ad might actually look like on Google, and ask yourself, are there typos? How could this be different? Should I reorder it? And just see how it looks. How does it make you feel when you see this ad? And so use these ad previewers as you're writing your text ads. Thank you so much for joining as we have walked through some tips to write really effective advertisements in Google Ads. If this has been helpful for you and you're on YouTube, if you're trying to sign up your nonprofit organization for the Google Grant, I would encourage you just click the link below the video and join us at the Google Ad Grant, the ultimate guide, where you're going to have steps written out step by step, as well as these videos and pictures, so that you can get this done as simply and easily as possible. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.